So the given problem is given an array of characters. I have pasted it. Yeah. Given an array of characters, chars, compress it using the following algorithm. So they have given the steps to do in the algorithm. You're not using any already existing algorithm here. So the given array of characters, there is an array that contains all the characters in it and they are named it as char. Begin with an empty string s. So we shall have to begin with an empty string s. For each group of consecutive repeating characters in chars. What does it mean? So let's take an example chars. Okay, equal to a comma a comma b. Yeah, this is fine. So what they have told, we start with an empty string. Yes, yeah, we have defined an empty string here. Then for each group of consecutive repeating characters, consecutive means it should appear one after the other at the same time. So if you look into this array, consecutive repeating characters which you find is a comma a 1 and b is the single consecutive. There is no repeating character. So you take it as a separate group. So a comma a one group, that is consecutive repeating character, and b is another group. After you find this repeating consecutive repeating characters in the array, you have to make some decision. What is that? The group length is 1. Append the character to S. So is there any character that has a group length 1 in this array without any duplicates? Yes, B has only occurred once. So its group length is 1, right? So in this case, you just need to append character to S. So you will be appending the character B to S. Otherwise, append the character followed by the group length. So if it occurs more than once, if a single character occurs more than once in an array and that too in a consecutive manner, then in such case you have to append the character followed by the group length. How many times A has occurred here? Twice. So the group length is 2 and you have to append the character in the string. So A first you append, then followed by the group length. What's the group length? 2. So once A is done, then go to B. In this group length is 1. So you just need to append the character to the array. You'll be appending B to the string. Sorry, to the string. You'll be appending B to the string. So in here you need not to return A has occurred twice, then B had occurred once. No, this is not the correct way. 1 is not required. If the group length is 1, you just need to append the character. If it occurs more than once, only then you need to mention in how many times has it occurred consecutively, repeatedly. So, okay, I'm moving my drop down. Right. Yeah, this is fine, right? Now, next we'll move to the next thing. The compressed string yes should not be written separately. The compressed string which we got is equal to A to B. So this compressed string S should not be written separately. This should not be written separately, but instead be stored in the input character array. Chars. How do we store this string in the input character array chars? So this is a chars array, right? You have to store in the form of characters. That means you have to take each character in the string separately. 2 is an integer, but you convert into a string and store it over here in the string s. So for converting integer to string, you have to use the functionality, built-in functionality in Java. So that we'll see in the code part. For now, you just think 2 is an integer, you'll be converting into a string and then storing it in the S. So when we split into array part, it will become character, not integer. It will be stored as a character. Okay. So first you store A as a separate character, 2 as a separate character, then B as a separate character in the character array. Got it right? But instead be stored in the character input array. You will not be returning this. Instead, you will be doing the operation in the input character array itself. this has been highlighted, so it's a very important part of the problem. Note that group lengths that are 10 or longer will be split into multiple characters in chars. What does it mean? So imagine if this A has occurred 11 times. A has occurred 11 times. A 11 times in the character array. Then you have to return A comma 11, right? Logically if you think, but no, we shall not be returning in this way. Instead, since the group length is more than 10 here, you will be writing it as A in the character array A, comma not. Okay. So this isn't the output. Instead, we'll be returning it as A, comma 1, comma 1. So if you get the group length more than 10, then you will split that group length into multiple characters in the char. So you have splitted the 11 into multiple characters into char. So you have to return the answer in this format, not in this format. So after modifying the input array, once you modify the input array, you'll get the uh, modified array of the char array. I mean, you are performing the output operation on the same array. So then at the end of the program, you just need to return the new length of the array. You need not to return the entire array, only the new length of the array. So if I consider this example, what's the length of the array? A, B, 1, 2, 3. So 3 is the length of the array. That should be returned by the end of the program. So you must write an algorithm that uses only constant extra space. What does it mean? You will not be using the complexity of O of n. Only O of 1 is the complexity of the algorithm must be, because they have mentioned it must use only the constant extra space. So we shall take the first example which they have given here. If you see the characters array, A has occurred twice, so A comma 2, we have got. Next B has also occurred twice. Yes, in the output array, modified or input array, you got B comma 2. Then 3 has also occurred thrice. So C comma 3. If the string format which you initialize in the beginning, if you consider that, then it will be like A2, then B2, then C3. So this is the string format, this is the array format, and you need to return the length of the array as the output of the program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 will be the output. Let's take another example. So this contains only a single character A. If the group length is 1, then what do we need to do? We just need to return the character. You need not to mention like A1, or if you tell in the array format A then 1. Oh, this is not the output. We just need to return the character as the output, hence the length will be 1. If you return A comma 1, then the length will be 2. You will get wrong output in such case. So be careful. You just need to return the character. If the character has appeared only once, that means there is no consecutive repeating characters in that case. So you'll return just the character in the modified input array, modified input array. So yeah, this only group is A, which remains uncompressed since it's a single character. We'll move to the last example, character. So A, as I said, only once it has appeared, just so that you'll be returning the character A itself, not the number of times it has occurred, because only once it has occurred, and according to the problem which they have given, the group length is 1, we just need to append the character to S. So that is one case. Then if you see B, it has occurred 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 12, 12 times. So that means it's B comma, B is the one character, and it's 12. Is this the correct answer? No. If the group length is greater than 10, in such case, you will be splitting the group length into multiple characters. So please remember this. So here it will be B, comma 1, comma 2. This is the answer. So total it will be A comma B comma 1 comma 2. What's the length of this modified input array? 4. So 4 will be the return statement of the program. In the string format, it will be nothing but AB1, 2. Return 4, and the first 4 characters of the input array should be this. So this is the compressed format of the given input array, modified compressed format. So this is the logic of the, this is how the, this is the way we will be solving the problem. Now we'll see how do we do this logically. So I shall explain the logic now. I shall explain the logic now. We'll take an example, say A, then B, okay, we'll take this example, right? Sorry, yeah, A, again A, then B, then C, okay? So how do we solve the problem? So let's start with this. At first, what do we need to have? We shall, this is the nothing but the chars array, right? So we shall be modifying the same array itself. So at first, we will take the current value as the starting index of the chars, that is nothing but CA rs of 0. Why are we taking this? I'll explain that. Then later you have to initialize the new index. I mean, here return type also data type also required, that we will see in the code part. IDX equal to 0. So this is a new index. Why do we use this index? As they have mentioned in the problem, the the compressed string shouldn't be written separately, but instead be stored in the input character array itself. So since we need to modify the same array character and return the length of this character array, we will be defining a new variable, new id x equal to, when id x equal to 0. So after that, you get the current character equal to a. Now we shall have to run through the for loop. So before that, we need one more variable, that is count. This is to check how many times each character has appeared. Initially, the count will be equal to 1. Why? Because current is pointing to the first element of the array, first character of the array. So it means the count value initially will be equal to 1. Now let's start with the iteration. So for int I equal to 1. Why I equal to 1? The first character has been initialized in the current itself, right? So we'll be starting the for loop from the next character. Then I lesser than n plus 1. Length of the array plus 1. Why this extra plus 1? I shall explain that as well in the later part. Next I plus plus. So inside the for loop, at first if you see, you have the current character, right? So the first condition you have to check whether the chars of i is pointing to a now, right? So this equal to if chars of I, if chars of I equal to current value, that means same character is occurred next to the current value. So this chars of I is contain nothing but A, and current value is chars of 0, that is also A. So both are same. That means what do we have to do? We have to increment the count value. Count equal to count plus 1. Right? If A has occurred twice, then we have to increment the count value. So count equal to count plus 1. Now the count value will be equal to 2 here for A. Next, after that, again you go to the for loop. Now will be equal to 2. I will be equal to 2. So character of 2. What is it there? 0, 1, 2. What do we have in this? B equal to, we have to check the condition. Current character, which is what is there in the current character? A is present, right? So current character equal to A. So is B equal to A? No, this condition is false. In such case, what do we have to do? If this happens, we have got to know the characters previous to that, whatever current character we have and the count value we have. We have to return those two and add it to the new compressed array with the index using IDX. So in such case, character same array of IDX will be equal to current. So A will be appended to character of IDX. Index value is 0 now. So A will be the first element. Then after this, what shall we have to what shall we have to return? So A is appended to the array, right? As I told, A will be appended to the array. Character of index equal to current value. Next, we have to return how many times it has appeared. How many times has it appeared? Twice. But this is an integer. Count value is an integer. You can't return as it is over here and tell it as a string, right? You have to convert 2 to the string part. For that, we shall have to perform integer dot toString of count value, and that we shall store it as some number or data, anything. So now the count value will be converted to string as 2. So after you convert into the string, how will you append it to the given array? For that, you have to perform, we shall append this to the array, right? How do we do that? We have to run the for each loop where for the character data to the character array, you will have to append this. So char idx. Okay, one more thing to notice. So once you initialize the chars of idx equal to current, you have to increment the idx value, idx equal to idx plus plus. So that you can do simultaneously, like char of idx plus plus equal to current, so that the current value will be appended to the idx index of the char, and the idx value will be incremented by 1, so that the next whatever input comes in, it will add on to the next idx value. So here also same thing, idx plus plus equal to character data, hence it will be appended to the array now. So the array will contain a comma, both are in the character format. So after this, we have appended both the a's. Now let's check in the same condition again. If current character, okay, yeah, we have appended the both the characters and we check whether we went to the next character and we check whether b is not equal to a or not. So it was not equal. In such case, we performed all the operation. What did we do? We return the current character to the idx value. Then we incremented the idx value by 1. We performed that operation simultaneously in this equation. Id characters of idx plus equal to current. After you put in the character current value to the character array, then you have to add it the number of times it has appeared in the character array, that is the integer. So first you convert into the string. You convert integer to the string. After you convert integer to the string, then you run the for each loop and to the character array, and there you add the append the characters of idx plus plus. Yeah, next idx element equal to the data value, that is the string s 2, and increment the idx value by 1. So this we have to perform for the next operation. So this is done. Next again, now we have to increment the. So this is done for the A, right? Now we shall start with the B. For B, firstly we have to initialize the character value, that is character of I. I is nothing but 2, right? I is 2. So 2 means it's pointing to B. Now the current value should become current equal to char of I. After this is done, then now again freshly new count value should be initialized. So count will be again now equal to 1. This should be included in this part only, but at the end. So after this is initialized, now increment, now again run the for loop. That is nothing but I equal to 3. For I equal to 3, again you check whether the given current value, and I equal to 3 means it will be pointing to this. Current value is pointing here. This is character of 3. So character of 3 equal to current? Yes. So in that case, you just increment the count value. So count value was 1, right? You increment it. So count value will become 2 now. Next again run the for loop. That is I equal to 4. So character of 4. Which you check whether the character of 4 and the current value are same or not. Yes, they are the same. Sorry, they are not same. That means now you have to go to the second condition which you applied here in this part, right? So similarly, same thing over you have to apply here. That means first you have to return the current value. That is nothing but so char of index plus plus equal to current value. Since this is not the same thing, same case as here, we shall perform the same operation. As I said, character of idx plus plus equal to current value. So the next element after a we have 2, then again we'll include b now. This id of a character of 2. Then after initializing the current value, you increment the value of idx, so it will become 3. Idx will be 3. After that, you take the count value. So you have to first convert the integer to string. Then you have to run the for each loop where the current count value will be the data value. When you convert that value will be appended to the array. character of idx plus plus equal to data, and idx value will be incremented again. So once this is done, this means when the B has been completed, the next, since both are not matching, that means the next character will be the different one. So we have to freshly initialize the current value now. So character of I will be equal to current value. That is nothing but C. I is nothing but 4 in this loop, right? So character value will be character of I, that is character of 4 will be, and the count value will be equal to 1. So currently the character is pointing to C and count value equal to 1. Again run the for loop. Since this is the last element of the array, now you cannot check whether the current value is equal to the character value present here. So in that case, if the element is pointing to the last element, that is I equal to n, you will have to return the character of idx plus plus equal to char value, the current value. So the current value now is C. C will be appended to the compressed array. So compressed array contains A, 2, then again B, 2. Now C will be added. And if you observe, C is being appeared only once. That means the group length is equal to 1. If the group length is 1, then we just need to append the character to the string. So appending this character C to the compressed array is enough. You need not to count the value of count value is 1 in C, right? You need not to convert this 1 into the string and then run the for each loop and append it to the input array. So not to implement this condition, you have to check whether if count is greater than 1. Then only you need to perform this conversion of count to the string and then appending it to the array. We shall execute this using the code now. So at first we shall be initializing a new index for the modified compressed array. So int x equal to 0. After that we have to go into the current value. So char current equal to, we shall append the first character into the current value. That is nothing but char of C. We need another variable count to check how many times a character has appeared repeatedly. So as we have appended the new character of 0 to the current value, the count value is initially 1 now, because 1 is already present in the A is already present in the current value. At last, so int n equal to chars dot length. Now we will run the for int I equal to 1. Why I equal to 1? As I said, the 0th value is already present in the current index. So we shall start the next for loop from the next character. We shall start the for loop from the next character. So I equal to 1, I less than n plus 1. So why do I need this n plus 1? In the example, you could see the last element, right, C. So after C, as I said, we have to check the condition I equal to 1. Here in this case, you cannot check whether character of I equal to current. No, this is not possible because there is no other element of that after that end of the array. So in such case, we have to check for the condition of I equal to n. That's why we will be adding an additional one size in the array I plus plus. So the very first condition we need to check is I equal to n. So if I equal to n, if I equal to n, then character of idx plus plus equal to current value. Characters of idx plus plus equal to current value. So this is nothing but character of idx characters of idx equal to current. After that, you perform idx equal to idx plus 1. So both these operations are done in the single statement. Next, once you do this, we will have to check whether the count value is greater than 1. If it is greater than 1, then only we shall be performing the operation of conversion of this count to the string. How do we do that? We shall initialize a new variable in data, a integer dot to string, conversion of integer into string of count. So if there is a count value as 2, which is an integer, this statement would convert that into string. Now to append this to the array, modified array, we will have to run for each loop for char ch, that is nothing but data dot to character array, just put in the value idx characters of idx plus plus equal to data. So if the count greater than 1, that means the loop length is greater than 1, then you convert that count to the string and you store it in the data variable. After that, you run the for each loop and you append the count value, which is in the form of string, to the array as a character. So since I equal to 1, this indicates the end of the array, right? So we'll have to give a break statement to stop the for loop operation and return the statement. So this is one condition. This has to be the very first condition to check. Why, I shall explain that later. Now we'll check for the further case. Else part. Else if this is the end of the array. The other condition we have to check is if the current character and character of I are same. So characters of I equal to the current character, then we just need to increment the value of count. If this is not the case, if both cases are not possible, that is the end of the array, and if both characters of I and the current character is not equal, that means it is a condition where you transfer from one character to the other character. So The else part contains, you have to perform the same operation in this case. So imagine you have traversed to the A character. You have to return the A and the number of times it has occurred. So the same part will be executed, but additional to this, after the checking whether and also you have to initialize the character index string. Okay. Additional to this, we shall have to initialize current equal to chars of I. Current equal to chars of I. So that it will start pointing to the next character, and at the same time count value has also to be initialized especially, so that it will run the next iteration for the B character with the new count value 1. As you initialize the B to the current value, count will be 1. Next iterate same thing. It will run through the for loop and find how many times B has occurred and return that. If count value greater than 1, then convert into the string part and append that count value to the modified array. So at the end, and these both has to come after this. Yeah. At the end, we have to return the new length of the array. So new length of the array will be nothing but idx. Return idx. So this is close. This closes for else part. We need one more close for the entire for. Then we return the idx. This data has to be string. So here as well, not integer, because we're performing this operation to convert an integer to string. So data type has to be string. This has to be the character, not data.